Hey, here we go. Hello, Andy here, CPM. Well, it has been such a long time since I've done a video actually in creative precious metals. And I was sitting there this morning thinking, I haven't been over my studio for a while, and I walked in and it was like going into a time capsule. You know, I've been away from this for quite a while. I disconnected myself from it purposefully, wanted to, and that's been a really fantastic thing for me. But it just, as soon as I walked in, I just put the lights on, cleared a few cobwebs away, and I just thought to myself, wow, this is like a little time capsule in here. What am I going to do? Am I going to leave it? Am I not going to leave it? And I just don't know what to do. You know, if I pack it all away, then I've got more space for my studio. But I just thought I'd just sit here and just share a video, really, and just have a bit of a reflection on it all. I'd really had forgotten how much of, especially on a Wednesday night, I used to use this place for a many good old chat about all sorts of things. And yeah, I've forgotten. Not that quickly, but over time, yeah, I've really forgotten how much time I used to spend in this space. So I thought I would do a video and just have a chat, really, about a few things. Do I miss it all? Yeah, of course I do. It was an important part. It was 3 years, I think. 3 years of starting off just right at the very beginning, thinking, I'm into precious metals, I like art, I like photography. Most people know my story. Well, sort of know it. And yeah, I just thought I'd document it. There wasn't that many YouTubers around in the UK documenting their precious metals journeys. You've heard other people say it, like Cobra was on the scene, 365 was on the scene back while Bullion was been on the scene for ages. The Stack Collector, and that was Future Investments was around as well. I think that was about it, really. I'm sure there was more. Stephen was around doing little bits and pieces. Yeah, there wasn't that many, but now there seems to be so many. And the space has changed incredibly. Since I started. You've now got groups, communities building through different YouTube creators, through different creators that have put things together. Yeah, it's just amazing. It's really changed, and I kind of lost my own personal way in it all, in the excitement and the growth of what everybody else was doing. And for myself personally, I'd sort of forgotten my journey a little bit. I didn't quite, as much as I enjoyed it, I didn't quite want to be just purely becoming a medium for everyone else, albeit fundamentally I loved every single minute that I shared with every single person that I had the privilege to interact with. So it was good for me, that's for sure. But yeah, we all move on. But anyway, getting back to this, it's really sort of, I don't think I'll ever get away from the journey. I've learned so much about myself, about other people. Yeah, it's been really interesting actually. Very, very interesting indeed, for sure. So, I thought, sorry, I'm drinking a cup of tea out of my dad mug. I thought, while I just sit here and reflect on a Sunday afternoon, what I'm doing, I thought I'd share those reflections in a kind of hope, some people might warrant some value to it. I have no idea. I never have an idea. I have a very laid back way of doing my YouTube stuff. I know we live in a world of fast-paced, 10-minute only, 10-second only sometimes, quick flick round social media, but it isn't me, and that's been a bit of a battle for me. So yeah, I'm just going to ramble on. I'll just crack on and talk about my journey, what it meant to me, my experiences building a YouTube channel. But fundamentally, I'm going to ask, this is about me. It ain't about anyone else. It might be about other people. Great, you can comment in the video if it is. But after quite a long period of time, I come to the realization personally that for me, and probably for many people that get into this space, it's not about the gold and silver, the precious metals in depth. It's what it can provide for us. And wrapped around that, I will say it's more about money, I think, personally. This is what it's all about. It's about money and what money represents to us as individuals. Because, I realised just through my conversations, watching the space, that primarily everyone talks about the value of their precious metals more than anything. It's still the top thing that most people talk about now. They ask questions about how much will it be worth? How much will this be worth? What do you think is going to happen to the price? All these indicators, the price, the value, will gold keep going up? Will silver go up? Will silver hit those heights that lots of people talk about? And it's all about this. It's all about this. And I believe that's about everybody, and I think that's pretty practical, pretty common sense. I think most people get into this space for their own personal reasons, obviously, but definitely we want to make more money. There's that old saying, make more money. And I've been on this quest to realise that what does that actually mean to me, make more money? What is the deeper question around it? So I've been a little bit privileged really to have got into stacking, collecting, just general interest in precious metals and other various things at a time where probably money we all took for granted. We all took for granted that we could earn it, get it, do something with it, and then with hopeism get into a certain, I don't know, way of investing to make more of it. It sounds ridiculous, but I think fundamentally that's probably why most of us do what we do. So I got into a time where primarily I knew that our, not just the UK, but even globally, that there was something wrong, there was something grossly wrong with what money stands for, the economics of how we're all living, how it's affecting us, at different ages. And I've seen probably over the last 2 or 3 years that decline, and I think if I was to ask myself today, if I was going to get into this today, knowing what I know and looking at what's going on globally, locally, in the UK, in America, in the Western world, Eastern world, with finance, I would definitely be so much more precautious over what I did, what I've done, what I would do. And that's where I got really frustrated, because I found myself, wrapped up in the community and listening to, quite rightly so, lots of positive initiatives, lots of positivity. But I kind of sat there and just thought, well, why aren't we talking about the decline? Why aren't we talking about this more, this stuff more? Why are we saying, yes, silver, an ounce of silver is really cool to have, an ounce of gold is really cool to have, whatever you invest in, and barely just ticking away or having conversation about culturally whether that's even a practical possibility for most people in today's terms. Do we understand? Do I understand that maybe, quite possibly, people haven't got the money spare to invest, or to have a little bit of hope to preserve their time and energy from working? Is that even a possibility nowadays? And I kind of got the gist that wasn't the case anymore. I don't think there's enough for the general population, enough surplus money for people to really heavily get involved, like I had the opportunity to, and I know many other people that have. And that, a lot of people could scream, well, that's circumstantial, that's this, that. Yeah, I get that, obviously. But that made me start to think about, and I'm very fortunate to have youngish children in that era that I would say were in in that age bracket to maybe put some cash into stuff to hopefully preserve it or make a bit of money. But they're struggling, and I know that personally. So I sat there and I just thought, well, if they're struggling, most people that I'm talking to, maybe they're struggling too. So is there a way to approach this space considering most people's circumstances, and as a creator, maybe influencer, I'm not sure what that means, I kind of do, obviously, how can that How can that be more talked about? So what I've had to do was, because I recognise that, I'm not saying any of this is right or wrong, it's just my observations. What I had to do was sort of isolate myself, and I do this quite often. I will isolate myself from the noise and try and sit back and think, is there a better way that I can personally help people through my experiences, through my creativity, going forward? And I can't do that if I'm wrapped up in tons of noise and tons of other people's issues and problems. Yeah, I can listen to all those issues and problems, but because I really enjoy it, I wasn't finding that time to actually sit back and think, how can I be of more value? So that's what the ramble's about, really. And this is why I just stop. A lot of people might go, oh my God, don't understand this guy. 1 minute he's in, 1 minute he's out, 1 minute he's in. Well, I'm explaining why I do what I do half the time. And I think I recognise, as money was getting, environmentally and economically, especially now, as I always said to my wife and I've always said to my kids, you watch, when money gets tight, the problems come across and all sorts of issues within culture and community come out. From jealousy, hopelessness, gambling, problems, issues, fear, anger, they all start to come out. And I think, to be fair, if you actually look around at the state of the UK at the moment, you could probably categorise most of this stuff is on steroids, if we're honest with ourselves. So I kind of recognise that, and I just thought, well, fundamentally, I haven't managed to ride the many years that I've had the privilege to not worry about all of those fundamentals, because money within the economy and the global setup of everything, yes, it's had its ups and downs, but it's been a little bit more free and not so much of a painful existence. And I haven't, within this space, I haven't had that chance to ride that wave. Other people have, and have purely built a lovely YouTube channel around that. But we are going through, I believe, a different phase. And as I said before, I just really needed to cut myself away, sit back, and really seriously think, how can I? And it wasn't that how can I, it was like, can I first? Can I come up with a way of reflecting that through my YouTube channel? And that's took me a long time, and I believe there is a way. I haven't quite worked out how it is, but this is a nice reminder for me, because you know that this, what you can see in front of you now and what I can see in front of me now is a wonderful relationship that I built up. And you know, you could times that by 20,000 with the amount of people out there that don't even know me and I don't know them, but they're out there. And I really want to try and find a way of me continuing this process, but without I don't think it's about gold and silver anymore, or Bitcoin, or investments, or anything. It's almost, this sounds terrible, but it's almost about survival. It's about, how do we get through this next stage where the boys and girls at that level are playing their games, trying to sort out whatever they're sorting out, and try and cut through all that noise, and try and be productive to give people hope. And that to me, all of a sudden become a big thing, a big realization that we've shifted, and we're shifting culturally and as a community. Not the gold and silver community that I know, but people. I'm talking about people. generally your neighbours, your people in the next town, whatever. So that's why I've had to sit back, and I've slowly doing something with one of my other channels, trying to find a way there, and yeah, trying to build things up. But cut a long story short, that was what I'm doing. This is, I might not be so involved with silver and gold. Still a very important part of, of what I've done. But I want to talk about, or have the possibility or chance to talk about the deeper side of money and community and issues, and try and find a realistic way around the craziness that we all watch and are a part of. And it's really cool because I've come in here and that all of this that you all know and have seen many times has had a bit of an impact on me. It will have a massive impact on me forever. And now I've got to try and convert it into what can be of use. How can I, with everything I've learned and I'm continuing to learn about, how can I have an impact going forward as far as that channel? So I don't know. I really don't know yet, but I just wanted to do a video. It's a nice reminder. It's lovely to sit here having a cup of tea and reflecting back and seeing everything around me. It's been an amazing journey. I want to pick it up again, but I really want to pick it up in a totally different way. And yeah, be productive with that. I mean, I could never see the point. I don't know if it's an old thing or whatever, because my kids are constantly, Dad, what do you reckon of this? Dad, what do you reckon of that? And I'm sitting there thinking, well, if they're asking me these questions more than ever before, then there's loads of people out there who will have questions. And so it's a case of me trying to work that one out, not necessarily in the silver and gold marketplace, but I think it all has some sort of intertwining, more so now, effect on our day-to-day lives. So that's what I'm doing. Been doing a lot of work in the background, and it seems like every subject I go down, it all comes back to certain points, which is another sign that I can't not recognise. I still believe in the gold and silver stuff. I want to believe in it, just like most people believe in it. But the bigger picture is more important at the moment. It's all right, for argument's sake. One thing I realise is, and I've seen it so many times now, and albeit I might not be involved, I still watch a lot of stuff. But I see it so many times now. I see people getting, got excited, got on board, been sensible, maybe not sensible, bought their stuff, in it for the long term, and something has happened in our culture and the way we do stuff and in the economics of everywhere. It's starting to make us, I can't really hang on to this for that because I need the money for this, I need the money for that. So that's what I mean. That whole storyline, that whole thing is changing. Maybe stacking gold and silver for the majority of people nowadays isn't going to be about long term, because when do you need your money, and you've got to ask yourself the question is, okay, if I've got that 30-40 pounds to put into an ounce of silver, for argument's sake, am I going to need that 30-40 pounds in a month's time, 2 weeks' time, because something economically has changed? That is just, everything's gone up yet again. It's called to me it's become very evident how how that shift is speeding up, and the lack of money flow, velocity, is around now, for most people. Not for everybody, just for most people. So anyway, that's that ramble. That's 25 minutes. I can't believe how quick these things go. That's 25 minutes, just a bit of an update, because I walked into my studio and this is exactly how I left it. And yeah, it's just brought back a load of nice memories, but also just sort of reinstigated to me what possibly I might need to do going forward with my channel. If I'm thinking this stuff, I know a lot of other people are thinking of it. And I don't want to use, I suppose I don't want to use gold and silver as a bolt hole away from reality. I want to be real with it all, more than anything. So anyway, that's Andy. Finally done a video, proper video, not a short, proper video. I'm still around. What do you reckon? Does anyone agree? Maybe none of this makes sense to anybody anyway, but I hope it does. You know, would you like me? Well, it isn't a case of what would you like me to do. I think it's a case of what we just need to do, you know. But yeah, I do think the fundamentals of stacking hasn't changed, but the reality of it in today's terms has changed. It really has. And that's because we're fighting for this. Because without this, none of that exists. None of it. It's irrelevant. And that's my point. This has now become more important to everyone. And I've been banging on about this for years now. This is now becoming more important. It's access to it, to be able to do anything with it. And once we do get access to it, have we got anything left? Because everything's just gone through the roof. And at the moment, with all the battles and the ups and downs going on, especially in the UK, I haven't seen any. I can speculate on it definitely, but I haven't seen any beautiful beams of light shining on the answer or the pot of gold from anybody. Just speculation. So it becomes more valuable than anything else, I believe, outside of your own health. So that's where I want to go. That's where I want to go more. I want to talk about it more in time. So yeah, I've got to work out a way of how I can transform that what I was doing into this new way. Anyway, I wish you all well. I hope you're all good. And a big thank you to, contrary to what anyone may feel, everyone that I've ever mentioned on this, on any of my videos. I thank you enormously for sharing your time and energy. It's been so rich and valuable for me as a person. So thank you. Take good care. See you all soon. Bye.